Hello students, welcome back to my channel. Kindly subscribe and click on the notification bell so that you can be notified once I upload a new video. I am teacher Thaddeus Baluka, your chemistry mentor. In our today's lesson, I'm going to deal with extraction of zinc metal. This is a very important topic, so watch until the end. This is an area that likely you're going to expect a paper 2 question, and the weight of a paper 2 question is between 10 to 14 marks. So we'll start by looking at the examination checklist. So as you go through this topic, you need to have a look at by the end of the lesson, you should have achieved the following objective. You should be able to name the main ores of zinc, describe the test for presence of zinc ions in the ore, describe how to concentrate the ore by froth flotation, describe how you can convert the zinc blende into zinc oxide, reduction of zinc oxide to zinc metal, electrolytic extraction of zinc, uses of zinc and some of its alloys, environmental effects associated with extraction of zinc, name in an industry that should be located near a zinc extraction plant. So work with me as I navigate the extraction of lead. We start by looking at the first lesson objective, that is naming the zinc ores, and where the zinc blende, which is the chief ore, and the formula of the main component of the zinc blende is zinc sulfide. The other one is calamine, and the main component of calamine is zinc carbonate. Next, we look at how to confirm presence of zinc ions in the ore. So what do? The ore is crushed. Once you crush it, you place it in a beaker. Then you add dilute nitric acid. This is whereby to free the ions of zinc. Then you filter to remove any undissolved or unreacted impurities. Then to the filtrate, which now you want to expect to contain the zinc ions, you add aqueous ammonia, drop while still in excess. Formation of a white precipitate, which is soluble in excess, confirms presence of zinc ions. Zinc is the only cation which is going to form a white precipitate, which is soluble in excess aqueous ammonia. After confirming the presence of the metal cation in the ore, you concentrate the ore. You concentrate. So you are concentrating the ore to increase its percentage. So the ore, first of all, is crushed and is concentrated through a method called the froth flotation. This method is usually used to concentrate the sulfide ores. So that leaves you with 3 metals that can be concentrated through froth flotation. That is extraction of copper, extraction of lead, and extraction of zinc, because the ores are sulfide ores. So water is, then air is blown through the mixture from below, resulting to formation of the froth. So in froth flotation, after crushing the ore, you mix it with water and olive oil. Then you blow in air from the bottom. So you can be asked to, you can, even in an exam, you can be taught to name 3 raw materials for the froth flotation. So the 3 raw materials for the froth flotation is water, oil, and air. Then when you blow in air from the below, then there will be formation of a froth at the top, which is rich in the sulfide ores. Let's look at the diagram. So we have the water and fine oil. So we have the fine oil or rather olive oil. You can use the fine oil and water. Then from there, you mix it. Once you mix the water and oil, then you blow in air. When you blow in air from the bottom here, the sulfide ores are usually surrounded by the fine oil. The oil will surround the sulfide ore. So because oil is a little bit less dense than oil, when you blow in air, the sulfide ore will be blown to form a will float on top, and then we are going to have a froth which is rich with the sulfide ore. So you can see the sulfide ore will now float on the top. Then it's directed to a different container. This froth which is rich with the sulfide ore is now dried to obtain the zinc sulfide. Once they obtain the zinc sulfide, now it's taken to the roasting furnace. In the roasting furnace now, you're going to have the zinc sulfide now being heated strongly in a furnace supplied with air to form the zinc oxide plus sulfur oxide. The sulfur oxide is trapped and is stored whereby it can be used in manufacture of sulfuric acid. So you can be told which other plants should be located near sulfuric acid extraction plant. And you're going to talk about the which other plant should be located near zinc extraction plant, and it will be the sulfuric acid extraction plant, because the zinc sulfide, or rather metal sulfide, is one of the raw materials that require in manufacture of sulfuric acid. So the blender is usually contaminated. The main impurity in the zinc blender is lead-2 sulfide. So the lead-2 sulfide is also roasted in presence of air to form lead oxide and sulfur oxide. In case it was calamine, the calamine will also be heated in absence of air now to form zinc oxide plus carbon oxide. So if it is zinc sulfide, it is heated in presence of air. But for carbonate, that is the calamine, it is heated in absence of air to get zinc oxide plus carbon oxide. So the role of the roasting is first of all to obtain the zinc oxide. Once you have now the zinc oxide, we can now go to the blast furnace, whereby now we reduce. So in the blast furnace, we feed the furnace with coke and limestone and the lead oxide. So we talk about the fire clay retort, or rather the blast furnace. So at the end of the retort is placed a fire clay condenser. Its mouth contains an iron prologue which collects any zinc vapor and condenses it. Zinc oxide is reduced by coke to zinc vapor, as you can be able to see. So we have coke here. So the coke can reduce the zinc oxide to zinc metal, or rather zinc vapor and carbon-2 oxide. The furnace temperatures are around 1000, and the boiling point of zinc is below 1000. So the zinc that is formed here is in vapor form. It is zinc vapor. So the carbon-2 oxide that is formed here when the coke reacts with zinc oxide can further reduce the zinc oxide to form zinc vapor again. And remember, the carbon-2 oxide is the main reducing agent. We also have the coke react with oxygen to form carbon-4 oxide. And the carbon-4 oxide can further be reduced by hot coke to form carbon-2 oxide. So the formation of the carbon-2 oxide, which is the main reducing agent, is able to reduce the zinc oxide to zinc vapor. So remember, the zinc oxide can be reduced by either coke, that is hot carbon, or carbon-2 oxide. So in the furnace, the carbon reacts with excess oxygen to form carbon-4 oxide. Limestone decomposes to form calcium oxide and carbon-4 oxide. So we have the limestone decomposing to form calcium oxide and carbon-4 oxide. So the carbon-4 oxide react with more coke, rather more carbon, to form carbon-2 oxide. Carbon-2 oxide is the main reducing agent. So it will be able to reduce both lead oxide and carbon-2 oxide, lead oxide and zinc oxide to form the corresponding metal, that is both lead and zinc. So once now it has been formed, as I've said, the furnace temperature is about 1000. The boiling point of zinc is below 1000. So it is collected as vapor. So the zinc vapor is mixed with lead spray, which condenses the zinc vapor and prevents it from being reoxidized. So when you spray the zinc vapor with the lead spray, remember, once the zinc is formed, it directs to the condenser. The temperature of the condenser is about 600 degrees Celsius. So once you add that, you're going to get the zinc vapor, whereby you can now spray to the lead spray, and it condenses the condenser to form the zinc liquid. So remember, the molten lead, the molten zinc will separate from the molten lead and settle above the lead because zinc is less dense. So molten lead being more dense, or rather denser, it settles the bottom. And it is normally the molten lead trickle down to the bottom of the furnace from where it's up off. So the temperature of the furnace is 1,000. That's why we are saying the zinc formed there is in vapor form, because the boiling point of zinc is between 906, 907. So the calcium oxide combines with silica to form calcium silicate. The calcium silicate dissolves impurities to form a slag. So we have now the calcium oxide, which the calcium oxide combined with silica to form calcium silicate, and the calcium silicate dissolves impurities to form a slag. Zinc can also be extracted by electrolysis. So let's look at the reaction, the blast furnace, rather the retort furnace. So we're having now the raw material that we're putting there, the calcium oxide, we're having the zinc oxide, and we have the coke. So let's look at the main reaction that takes place there. So we have the following reaction. First of all, we have this is a summary of reaction that occurs in the furnace. So we have coke react with oxygen to form carbon 4 oxide. The coke can also react with oxygen to form carbon 2 oxide. The carbon 2 oxide is the main reducing agent. So you'll be able to reduce zinc oxide to zinc and also lead oxide to lead. The calcium carbonate decomposes as shown here to form calcium carbonate plus carbon 4 oxide. So once that one is formed, we have the calcium oxide reacting with silica to form calcium silicate. The calcium silicate now combines with the other impurities, forming the slag. So normally we're having the zinc, one is formed there, it's direct to the condenser here. This is the condenser now. So when you're getting now the condenser here, you're able to see the zinc vapor on top. We're going to have the molten lead being at the bottom, and then we have the molten lead will always be able to be formed at the top. So in that kind of a scenario, we'll be able to get this kind of scenario whereby the molten lead will be formed at the bottom. So we have the zinc oxide reacting with carbon to form zinc plus carbon 2 oxide. We have zinc oxide react with carbon 2 oxide to form zinc plus carbon 4 oxide. So we also have the same for lead, react with carbon to form lead plus carbon 2 oxide. And then we have the lead oxide being reduced by carbon 2 oxide to form lead plus carbon 4 oxide. Very important for you to capture that. So these are the major reactions that occurred in the blast furnace. Then we also have electrolytic extraction of zinc. So after roasting the ore to form zinc oxide, now you don't reduce it, but you now carry out electrolysis. But first of all, the zinc oxide is reacted to dilute sulfuric 6 acid to form zinc sulfate. So the zinc oxide reacts with sulfuric 6 acid to form zinc sulfate. So the zinc sulfate now plus water. So now the zinc sulfate now can now be used for electrolysis. So any lead oxide from the galena that could have been formed also react with sulfuric acid to form the insoluble lead sulfate, as you can be able to see from here. So the insoluble mixture of lead sulfate and lead oxide is filtered off. Zinc sulfate solution is now electrolyzed using electrolysis. During electrolysis, this is something that you need to understand from here. There's something that you need to understand, that during electrolysis, the anode is made of lead and silver, while the cathode is made up of aluminum sheets. In some of the publications, there is a confusion whereby some books have written have interchanged that the cathode is made up of lead and silver alloy. That is wrong. So the correct position is that the anode is made up of lead and silver, while the cathode is made up of aluminum sheets. If the graphite is used as the electrode, hydrogen gas would be evolved instead of zinc metal. That's why we normally use aluminum sheets. The zinc ions are reduced to zinc metal, whereby they are gaining electrons here to form the zinc. At the anode, the hydroxide ions are oxidized to form water and oxygen gas. So those are the main reactions that takes place there. So remember, the electrolyte is zinc sulfate solution. The cathode is made up of aluminum sheet, and the anode is an alloy of zinc and silver. So let's look at the summary of extraction of zinc. the summary of extraction of zinc. So in the extraction of zinc, this is the summary of extraction of zinc. So we are having now, we start with the blade here, the zinc blade. It is crushed. Once it is crushed, it is concentrated through froth flotation. The froth flotation, we now concentrate it to increase the percentage of the zinc blend in the ore and also to remove some of the impurities. So when you go to the roasting furnace, we blow in hot air, whereby the zinc sulfide reacts with oxygen to form zinc oxide plus sulfur 4 oxide. The sulfur 4 oxide is tapped and can be used in industrial manufacture of sulfuric acid. So from there, we are now remained with zinc oxide. The zinc oxide, we also have lead oxide if it was there, if there was a lead oxide here, but we are focusing on zinc. So the zinc oxide is now taken to the blast furnace. We mix it with the limestone and coke. We also have the lead oxide, which also from the impurity that were there. So the main reaction that takes place there, we are going to have the calcium carbonate decomposing to form calcium oxide plus carbon 4 oxide. So the carbon 4 oxide, remember, we also have the coke now. The coke, that is carbon, react with oxygen to form carbon 2 oxide. So the carbon 2 oxide forms the main reducing agent, whereby it's going to reduce the lead oxide to form lead and carbon 4 oxide. It's also going to reduce the zinc oxide to form zinc gas and carbon 4 oxide. Then we have the calcium oxide combining silica to form the calcium silicate. The calcium silicate will combine with more impurities to form the slag. So that is one, the extraction of zinc uses two methods. Either you can use the reduction, which occurs in the blast furnace, or we can use the extraction. We can use now the extraction by electrolysis. So in the extraction by electrolysis, we first of all react zinc with sulfuric acid to form the zinc sulfate. Then the zinc sulfate plus water. Then now we take this zinc sulfate to electrolytic chamber, whereby we are going to use the anode made up of silver and lead and cathode made up of aluminum sheet. Then the electrolyte is zinc sulfate. Once we have that, now we carry out the electrolysis, whereby we're going to have the cathode, the zinc ions gaining electron to form zinc metal, and then we have now the hydroxide ions going to the anode, losing electron to form water and oxygen gas. Very important. So this schematic diagram summarizes the extraction of zinc using the two methods, either electrolysis or use of reduction. So that is the simplest way in which you can use to summarize the extraction of lead or of zinc. So we can continue. We can continue. So this one summarizes both methods, whether it is through extraction, whether it's through the use of this or the use of reduction, whereby you're using the furnace, or by use of electrolysis. So the other point that is remaining is now the uses of zinc. Zinc is used in galvanization, whereby the iron is coated with zinc. So the coating of iron with zinc is called galvanization, and it helps to prevent rusting. It is better than painting because zinc being more reactive than iron, even if the paint crack, or rather the coat of lead cracks, then zinc will also offer sacrificial protection. It is used as a negative terminal in dry cell, not to manufacture the outer casing, rather manufacture of dry cell. When you say manufacture of dry cell is wrong, manufacture of outer casing is wrong. So the correct position is as a negative terminal is dry cell. So making bronze, which is an alloy of with copper, when you combine zinc and copper, you form brass, which has so many uses, like in ornaments and what have you. So we also have the pollution effects in extraction of zinc. So sulfur 4 oxide relate from the rusting of all these poisoners, or rather it lead to formation of acid rain, not acidic rain. It is acid rain. The sulfur 4 oxide, the pollution effect can be controlled through scrubbing or the flue gas desulfurization device, FGD. Remember, pollution effect of sulfur oxide can be reduced by either using the scrubbing or